So, okay, guys, so tonight is our new coach training. So basically just want to go over a couple things, and then I'll talk to Angie and Liz since they're on too, and see if there's anything in particular that either of you are struggling with, or, even if you just want to role play anything, I'm fine with that. So basically some what is Success Club, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I want to go over, because I feel like that's your job with the training in 30-day, first 30 and things. The dog opened the door. Hold on. I'm right next to Adley's nursery, and she's already sleeping, so I'm trying to be quiet. So biggest thing I think is talking about consistency, talking about vision, talking about mindset, and treating this business like a business. So one of the biggest things, hey Jen, one of the biggest things I want you guys to focus on is not just like, if you want to take this business places, it's really not just like, oh, I'll do it when I do it. Because you have to just be very consistent. If there's one thing I can tell you that will move your business forward, is do it when you don't feel like it, and make time when you don't have time. Because you're never just going to find time. And you know what? I'm just going to mute everybody. And if you want to ask any questions, just unmute yourself. It's totally just, I'm just going to talk for a little bit, but if you have any questions, just unmute yourself. So you're not going to just find a new time in your day. It's not going to happen. You have to be very purposeful. So what I would love for you to do is if you use a planner currently, raise your hand. Okay. All right. So Angie and Liz are not using a planner, and that literally boggles my mind. I don't know how I would function with that one. Regardless, what is that? That's pretty cool. That's something. So what I want you to do is time block. And I want you to time block an hour of Beachbody into your day. Even if it's 10 minutes here, 15 minutes here, I don't care. But give me an hour a day. If your goal is to move this business forward, I really, really, truly think you need to put in at least an hour of a day. It doesn't have to be an hour straight. And sometimes if it's 30 minutes in the morning where, maybe you're getting up 30 minutes earlier and you're going to bed 30 minutes earlier, and then maybe it's 30 minutes right before bed instead of watching TV. I'm not going to tell you how you need to work the business. That's your choice. But if your goal is to change a crap ton of lives and build an income that's going to be able to provide for you financially, for you and your family, it takes grinding, because this is not like a get rich quick business whatsoever, but it does have so much potential. Because I need to go find some of these income earning potential things. And I think I've shared them, but not recently, in our team page, where people, so for example, the first full year as a coach, I joined in April of 2013, but 2014, the first full year of a coach, I think I made 30 grand. And then the next year, and that was me literally any second, I stopped watching TV. I stopped going to the bar with friends. I literally put my soul into this if I had downtime. Full disclosure, I didn't have kids. So I know that it's different. I know that I probably wouldn't have had as much time if I had kids. So, but I went from 30 grand that first year. The second year was 80 something. And then the third year was where I had my first 6-figure income. So, and total disclaimer, it's not just going to happen for you being in the business that long. It does take hustle. And I don't say that to brag. I say that because if you are consistent and you're showing up and you're treating this like a business, you're going to see that compound, where in the beginning, everything you make is based off of what you sell. But as you grow your team and as you teach your team to grow their teams, your income is what they're doing. Because at any given time, at least 85% of my weekly paycheck is what you guys are doing, what my downline is doing, and I get paid for that. So it's really, and if you guys ever don't understand volume or anything, I have a couple really good trainings I can send to you for that. But the more that you grow your volume, and the more that you focus on recruiting coaches that want to work this business. Now, never discount coaches, because my sister started as a discount coach and, has lost 111 pounds, is a diamond coach, has been able to quit her job. There's a lot of us that start as a discount coach and decide to work the business. But I also think it's important to, excuse me, to go back to these discount coaches and say, as soon as they sign on, even if they sign on purely for the discount, I add them to our team page and I tag them in that, which path are you? And I say, hey, let me know. I don't think I've ever had anybody just say, path one, that's it. It's path one for now. I'd probably like to dabble in path two in the future. But if you don't give them that choice, they're always going to think of themselves as a discount coach because you've literally labeled them as that. So I think it's really important. So even if you have people, hey, Cord, even if you have people that are discount coaches, I want you to continuously kind of check in and like, hey, how's it going? And don't kind of like, oh, they're a discount coach, so I don't treat them as my challenger. If their goal is to get results and they're strictly doing it as a discount, you need to really like dig deep with them and be like, okay, like, what's going on? Tell me how it's going with your workouts. How's your meal plan going? And the more love that you pour into them, the more likely they're going to want to work the business because you were the difference in them succeeding or quitting like every other thing they've tried before you. So when you make your discount coaches or you make your clients have these amazing experiences, they want to work the business. They want to pay it forward. They want to be able to like encourage others and give them what you gave them. Because I've said this before, a lot of times people just need to know that somebody else believes in them. They have all the tools, they have everything available. They just need to know that somebody believes in them. So I want you to time block and find where your hour of Beachbody is going to come. Like I said, it can be 15 minutes in the morning. It can be 15 minutes at lunch. It can be, whatever it needs to be. And if you have extra, great, that's a bonus. But now, if you have an hour, what are the most important things to be doing? Who has any ideas what you should be doing in your pockets of time? Anybody? Oh, you're muted. Got to unmute yourself, Jamie.
Just sending the Hey Girl message and, asking how their day was or noticing that post, you know what I mean? Because that's what I struggle with.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't want you to be afraid of that because that's like my favorite part is getting to know new people, especially with Instagram and, where you don't really know people and you're just finding people through hashtags. And that's how I met Courtney and that's how I met Chelsea, who was Liz's coach. And trying to think, no, not Stephanie. I was thinking your coach. But yeah, so, and that's really cool. And you have to really focus on those relationships because even though you're bringing them in as a client and you don't really know them very well, you can't just be like, oh, great, thanks so much for joining, and then forget about it. You have to really focus on getting to know them. Courtney literally sent me a million bows for Adley in this adorable Adidas outfit, and she was just a friend from Instagram. She wasn't even a client. I don't even think I don't even think so. Yeah, and so that's the fun part is building relationships with people and just finding other like-minded people and being like, wow, this business is so cool to bring me new friends. And so I think you need to just look at it that way. This is a really cool, and this is probably somebody that, really needs some positive, sunshine in their day.
Encouragement, right?
Mm-hmm. And I have another girl that is thinking about coaching, and I've literally just been as a friend to her because she's just moved and now she has no friends around her, no family, and she's kind of going through a depression. I just saw today that she posted that she had a miscarriage, so she's going through so much. I don't need her to be a coach. I need to be a friend to her because I know she's already told me that she's struggling with all this stuff. So for me, it's really important just to be that person without an end goal of, well, I really hope she signs up as a coach. Yeah, I would love for her to sign up as a coach, but you have to think about the real reason why you're doing this business. Is it because you want Success Club points and a paycheck? Or is it because you want to help people no matter what? That's why I love my free groups I run too. It's because I would love for them to all, sign up and do something. But if I can add value and help people even just get started with something, that's why we do what we do. So, I want you to be consistent and I want you to show up every day and I want you to continue to invite to free groups and say the Hey Girl messages like Jamie said and start new conversations and continuously be building your, your network. And you know what? A lot of people that I've had these conversations with, and I've even invited them, and it's like, no, I just don't have the money. Even if they have never joined me, they're the people that will message me and be like, oh my gosh, I've been watching your posts forever. I know I just need to join you because I've been consistent. It's not like they have to scroll back 6 months to, if you make a post about Shakeology and you don't talk about it for another 6 months, nobody is going to be like, hey, Liz, tell me more about that shake you posted 6 months ago. I think I'd like to buy it. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, and right now too, I put more focus on my stories. So Instagram and Facebook stories, and you can also link them, I'm pretty sure. Can't you link them? If you do your Instagram, it can link it. My Instagram email is different, so it's frustrating, but
you can't link it if you have a business Instagram, because when I switched my Instagram to business, it no longer would link stories to my regular Facebook page.
Okay, I think mine is linked to my like page. So you could probably link it a business to a business, but maybe that's why mine is like that. So yeah, mine is linked to my like page. But yeah, so basically what I will do is when I do an Instagram story, I will just download it and then upload it to Facebook. But honestly, I've been putting more focus on Instagram than Facebook because Facebook is great, but they're always changing their algorithms and things like that. And I feel like I'm getting less and less engagement. They're kind of cracking down because Facebook knows that people are using their personal pages to work their business, which they don't want you to do. They want you to pay for ads. So I feel like Instagram has been kind of easier for me to find new people. I still get people from Facebook and I still get for people from, my warm market there. But I'm really finding it's important to do both because the way that it's changing. And I really think that especially a lot of people literally just have Instagram. They don't even have Facebook anymore. A lot of younger people are just like, nah, Facebook isn't for me. So I just think it's so important to just find some hashtags. And there's a really great training for the National Wake Up Calls. So how you access National Wake Up Calls is you download the podcast Team Beachbody Coach, and then you go in there and you can download a bunch of them. And then so say you're at home with Wi-Fi, you can download a bunch of them and then listen to them later. So without using your Wi-Fi. So I drove to Charlotte back and forth the other day. So it was 5 hours in the car. I listened to 5 National Wake Up Calls and I didn't have to use my data. And that was just it was just such a light, it lit my fire because I was like, these are people that are making 6 and 7 figures in the business telling you exactly what to do. So if you're not at least listening to, it's every Monday at 11 a.m. and they have them back from 2013 recorded on that app. You can listen to them all. So make sure you listen to the weekly one so you can hear all the announcements, anything coming up. And then anything that's past a week, I don't listen to the beginning or the announcements or anything because they usually don't pertain to the current month anyways. So it only is 25 to 30 minutes tops. So that's a really great training for you. So being consistent, and when you have those pockets of time, knowing what you're doing so you're not just scrolling Facebook and be like, oh, I worked. No, scrolling is not working. So starting new conversations with people. Where are you guys finding your new people to chat with? Does anybody want to talk about where you're finding people?
Most of my new people at the moment are, they're either my warm market on Facebook, mm-hmm. or they are people I've never met on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I've been basically anybody who, this was on the, if you're in the Obsessed with Coaching group, the one that Autumn is doing now, every week there's a new elite coach that comes on and talks, and they do an interview. And one of them, I can't remember who it was, they said, add everybody. On Instagram, start following everybody. Follow people that are in your hashtags. Follow people who like your stuff. Follow, if they even just watch your story, follow them. And then at the end of the week, all through the week, add as many people as possible on Instagram. And then at the end of the week on Sunday, go through with your cleaner. And if they haven't followed you back in a week, then get rid of them.
And what's the cleaner app called?
Cleaner for IG.
Yeah. Wait. So anybody that hasn't followed you back, it will unfollow them because you don't want the people you're following number to be higher than the people that are following you. And also if people don't care to follow you back, then you don't need to follow them.
Right. And so that's what I've been doing. And so a lot of the people, and I try to keep the people that I follow or message, like if I comment on their story or anything, I check out how many people are following them. And if they have anywhere between like 50 to like 1,000 followers, that's like a normal everyday person, not somebody trying to build their following. It's somebody who is on Instagram to connect, with their people or connect with their interests. And so it's not a huge, like, that's just my rule. I don't know if that's like a rule, but, and I find that they're the more people who will actually respond to your comments because they're not following 50,000 people. 50,000 people aren't following them. So they have the time and can genuinely connect with you rather than, you getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, good points. And then Jen Richardson did a call with the National Wake Up Call talking about how she uses her Instagram and her stories. And Bonnie Engel also did a really good one about Instagram to listen to as well. But so Jen Richardson says that she follows 100 people a day. And you're like, what? 100 people? But if you break it down and you just do 10 people at a time by looking through hashtags about guacamole or something, like, that's not hard. So think about some things that are important to you. I would love for you guys to kind of use the chat now and type out some things that you would kind of say or would describe you. Like, when I think of Courtney, I think of running, like half marathons, this and that. So dig deeper and type out a couple of different things. And then what you can do, and what Jen Richardson does, is she says that she's got a couple different lists of hashtags and she saves them in the notes section of her phone. And so then she would have like one list that has like things to do with yoga, and then she saves it in her phone. And those are the hashtags. She just goes through and does like 10 follows. And then she's like, then the next night I might do my shopaholic hashtags and search people that way. And if you guys go to the unit section in the Beautifully Made Family, it's like getting started. And the first one is like pick your path. And the second one is like color wheel. So I told you guys to take the picture of like the color wheel and then go through and like put at things that are explaining about you. So where's my chat? I can like see it, but I can't see it. Sorry. Close. So, let me see if I can show you. If you guys go to the Beautifully Made, you should all be able to access that. But yeah, so the unit section, and then if you go to canva.com, it's I love that for anybody that hasn't heard of that. That's where I do a lot of my graphics. So you save the picture of the color wheel, and then you go to canva.com and then you enter it in. I saw Michael and I saw Chelsea put theirs up too. And it's just really great to kind of like, when you're thinking about, to take some time to do that. So that can help you with hashtags. It can help you with what kind of post. And if you're ever like sitting there staring at your screen, you're like, I don't know what kind of post to make. Just make a lifestyle post and think about something funny, or think about something for me, I'm like a self-proclaimed hot mess express. So I'll look up like a funny mom meme or something. Like last night I was like, okay, I've literally posted way too many like garage selfies in a row. I have to do something different. And I had already ate and I didn't take a picture of it. So I didn't have anything to really add value. So I just did a mom meme and I got a lot of engagement with that. So, just go through and look at your target market. Dating sucks. And that, honestly, like, people love reading that. Angie's always talking about how she's awkward and her funny like dating stories and things like that, but literally, like, I don't think I see a post of her about it and don't laugh. So it's good to have that people are like, I just love your outlook on life. I love that you share the good, the bad, the ugly, things like that. So be sure to put together and write out some things that describe you in your chat and start thinking about it for one, for your hashtags, two, for your target market and knowing what to post about, what to talk about, and then three, just kind of like knowing like who you are typing to when you type out your post, because you want to type exactly to yourself. You want to type to that person, that April, that really is going to connect with something. And the other thing I like to talk about too is like, think about some type of like your really dark moment where you were just like, you were rock bottom and you were really struggling. And what message did you need at that time? Because chances are people are going to be like you that are following you and can relate to you. So that's why it's important to share your story, talk about your story, be vulnerable. Don't feel like because you're a coach, you have to be perfect and smiley and positive. Like, now, venting about traffic and everything under the sun and F this and F that isn't going to help anybody. So, if you want to talk about something you're going through, be very vulnerable, talk about it, and then remind people why it's all going to be okay. So I think it's important for people to connect with you, and you don't want to come across as perfect or anything like that. So talk about your struggles and then put a positive spin on it. So we are kind of just wrapping this up for the new coach callers, really just basically just covered on consistency, how to find people, why it's important to, follow people, connect with people, invite people. And then, we're going to go into our new coach call, or that was our new coach call. Sorry, I'm trying to find this, see if I missed anything I wanted. Treating your business like a business, consistency, vision, and mindset. So I have you guys writing out some things about you in this chat. Runner, teacher, meal prep crazy. And you know what? That's awesome. And that will be if that's something you're comfortable with, that will be a great free group for you to run. Just kind of teaching people like tips and things like that so many people ask me about meal prep all the time, Courtney. So that would be a great thing to do, is like run a free group, post about it on Instagram, post about it on Facebook, get as many people as possible. It's free. So, all they got to do is get in there and then do that like 5 days of that. And then just kind of like plug a little bit of Beachbody and say, what's next? If you guys want to join my next, nutrition boot camp, I'd love to. It's kind of like this, but, even more special because it's for my VIP group. Boy, mom, chocolate, cooking things I can't eat. Do you have food allergies? Or just you can't eat it because you want abs? So does anybody, we have, Deidre is going to be hopping on, but does anybody have any questions about anything or anything you're struggling with that you want to kind of pick my brain about, or anybody that's on this call, really? All right, so I'm going to stop the